Hi everyone, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much for the occasion. We are very excited to present our paper entitled Blessing in Disguise, Opportunities and Challenges of Green Cities Development Amidst COVID-19 Crisis in Indonesia. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Abdul Fikri Angga Reksa and my colleague is Lissandhi. We both are researchers from the Center of Area Studies at the Indonesian Institute of Sciences or LIPI, which focusing on sustainable cities topic. So this is the outline of our presentation today. I think without a further ado, let's start with the background of this study. As we are already known, Indonesia has been experiencing the COVID-19 crisis impact hardly. More than 180,000 people are infected, 1,000 people dead, and it has been creating chaos in the economic and livelihood aspect, as well as health infrastructure, especially in the city as the hotspot of COVID-19 outbreaks. Despite the dreadful impact, some experts convinced that the COVID-19 crisis will bring a positive impact on urban development. The COVID-19 crisis is an opportunity to reshape the future of the city into more inclusive and environmentally friendly. In Indonesia, many urban people have turned their daily life into a green lifestyle. For instance, in this picture, we could see the rising of cyclists in most of the cities in Indonesia. On the individual or household level, urban farming and gardening are also sort of emerging trends in the city. Urban people try to grow their own foods such as banana, as you can see in the picture as well, and different kind of fruits, vegetables, on any other plants. They do it not only due to physical distancing policy from the government, but also to keep themselves busy. As some studies reveal that green infrastructure is actually could benefit a lot for the people. Apart from making people physically and mentally healthy, it also could provide ecosystem services, recreational purposes, and also biodiversity conservation. The rising of green community amidst the COVID-19 crisis in Indonesia is in line with the goal of future cities in Indonesia based on the National Planning Development Agency or BAPENAS that consists of livable, competitive, green, resilient, and local urban identity. Many people would argue that COVID-19 is a blessing in disguise for urban green infrastructure in Indonesia. However, if the COVID-19 crisis will genuinely improve the development of the green city in Indonesia? So this paper seeks to answer two research questions. The first, how has the pandemic changed the lifestyle of urban people into what's so-called urban green lifestyle? And the second, what are the opportunities and the challenges of green city development amidst COVID-19 crisis? In terms of methodology, we utilize qualitative methods with the semi-ethnography approach. We conducted qualitative interview with the community, the government representative, and also NGOs. And before we talk further about the opportunities and challenges of COVID-19 for urban green infrastructure, we would like to remind you all about the future Indonesia city goal that derive from new urban agenda and sustainable development goals. According to BAPENAS, one of the long-term goals is green city that resilient from climate change and disaster risk or crisis. There are 8 attributes of green city and we would like to emphasize the green community in this paper. So this is one of example green community in Bandung that is quite active during pandemic. A little bit overview, actually the member of this urban farming group is an Indonesian culinary enthusiast, namely Parti Gastronomi. Since the COVID-19 crisis, they expand their movement into urban farming and they call themselves Indongebon. They harness abandoned land into urban farming, as you could see the difference between the before and after picture. So, what does it mean for the urban green infrastructure? We notice at least 4 main points as an opportunity of the COVID-19 crisis for urban green infrastructure. The first is a new normal as a cultural adaptation that leads to community-based initiative. One of them is green communities such as Indonesian. So the second is raising awareness of environmental issues. Actually, make people also aware that green lifestyle could make them physically active and mentally sane. And the third is the opportunity to develop more green transportation as one of the green cities attributes, because the number of cyclists has increased by 1000%. So it's a huge number. And last is opportunity to build back better, particularly to redesign city that inclusive and sustainable. On the other side, there are at least three main challenges. First, urban financing, meaning that this time lack of attention to green infrastructure development, because at this time the government focused priority on COVID-19 management, as we know that the government right now is only focused on economic recovery program in the first place. And the second is political commitment to both local and national authorities that very dominant to determine where the city goes after the pandemic. And the third, the sustainability of the green community movement itself, since it's really difficult to assess if the green community is really genuine to create more sustainable and green space, or it's just like a lifestyle, like a not really long-term lifestyle. In spite of many people have experienced the benefits of green lifestyle during the crisis, such as clean air or fresh air and natural food, it's not necessary that they will continue their green lifestyles forever. Last, as a conclusion, we would like to convey at least three messages that intertwine one and another. First, the discussion on how to redesign the urban landscape and urban architecture in the time of pandemic and post-pandemic has been increasingly rising. So the future of green cities in Indonesia will be bright after the COVID-19 pandemic, but it's also still a question mark whether this is this is make it better or even undermine the development of green cities development. And the second is the study recommends the integration of those priority programs and urban green infrastructure development or nature-based solution. So it's kind of like a win-win solution. And the third is the future orientation is linked to the cultural ecology that should become one of the baseline studies for Indonesia's Green Cities project. I think we are going to stop our presentation here. Should you have any questions or comments, let us know. Thank you so much for listening.